Hello, everybody. Welcome back for round three of the Tuesday fight night for the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. If you've just joining us, I am McDiff, joined by the true nail icon, Chaotic Bear. Um, another very spicy round for us. Three spices in a row. This is so Jukea Wall on Rug Delver, and then Presby OTW on what he's named it as Golgari Lunchtime. This deck is bananas. When he sent me this for the first time, when he was like brewing it, I was just enamored. Um,
Yeah.
it is a really interesting. Uh, I can't even pronounce the name of this card. Varlaws, Varls,
Morals, I think.
Varl's the Scar
Yeah.
Striped. Each creature card in your graveyard has Scavenge, and the Scavenge cost is equal to its mana cost. Exile a creature from your graveyard and pay its mana cost. Put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that creature's power on target creature.
Yeah. This deck is so goofy. I mean, I haven't actually seen it in action. I DM'd him a little bit earlier to get some background on it and make sure that I understood what the deck was doing, and give him a
We've
little bit
got
of crap about these the card choices and the card amounts. But
we've got Phyrexian Dreadnought. We've
one of
got
them.
one Phyrexian. I think there was a reason, but then the reason I think ended up being great. Now I don't have to take apart my Stifle Knot deck, so I have enough.
I assumed it was the one of Entomb, but that's also a reasonable consideration.
um, 4 Death Shadows. Uh, who needs to hurt yourself when you can just put 13 +1/+1 counters on a creature?
Yeah, for 1 mana. So we see the turn one of Divest here, which is we'll discard a creature or an artifact. We see Hex Drinker and Tarmogoyf for the only two legal targets there. Daze, Force of Will, Brainstorm, Misty Rainforest to round out the hand.
Um, on one land in a brainstorm, yeah, I think taking the Hex Drinker is scarier right now.
Yeah, Hex Drinker is hard. It's hard to answer for sure. Prez has a couple removal spells here in the deck, I believe, but not a ton. Two Abrupt Decay, one Assassin's Trophy are the only reliable ways to remove that. You gotta get in quick. So gonna crack a fetch for Jukea here.
Um,
Down to Trop. We'll see if Prez has time to set up here. As we know, the Rick Delver decks are very efficient on their threats.
I do think so this is one of those things that I think Prez has a slight advantage because every single card in his deck is a reader. Um and when you don't know what any of the cards that your opponents are casting do, then it's really hard to know what you are supposed to be countering.
That's fair. I appreciate every time I play a weird deck and I play a turn one land and they say, "Oh, you must be blah blah blah," and I'm like, "All right, you'll see." And I play another card, and they go, "Wait," and I play a third card, and they go, "Wait." So
um
just
so we are
flipping.
seeing Wasteland Delver, Cycle Street Wraith.
I hear that's a pretty good card for the Delver deck.
Cycle another Street Wraith.
All right. Uh,
Draw for turn. I
Maybe
don't
the backup plan of Death Shadow Beats here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with Jukea's choice to not just snap the Wasteland off because being able to put another threat in play um, doesn't seem the worst in this situation.
No, and she had the Goyf that we know about in hand as well from the Thoughtseize or from the I already don't
Divest.
remember. Thank you, Divest. So being able to guaranteed cast that next turn will be nice because we know that she drew the Wasteland last turn, I think. Or off the Brainstorm, I guess.
Getting another Overgrown Tomb and gonna cast. Is that a Grimflayer?
That looks like a Grim Flare. Yep.
If
Confirmation
you
from Table
are
Spotter here.
if you are unfamiliar with Grimflayer, I'll read it for you. Uh, it is a 2 mana, so Golgari for a 2/2 human creature with trample. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest back on top of your library in any order. And it has Delirium. Grimflayer gets +2/+2 as long as there are 4 or more cards types among cards in your graveyard. Oh, and thanks, Corey, for putting it in the chat too, so people don't just have to listen to the soothing sounds of my voice.
Yeah, I know what that card does only because I spent about a week trying to make it work in Loam, and it does not.
Chunking in,
Yep,
gonna grow
get in
that
there.
Death Shadow.
Yeah, but you gotta beat him at some point, I guess. Growing up to a 5/5 here. Thanks for keeping track of that for us, Mr. Jack Dex there.
Gonna put a blocker onto the board.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's only going to be a 4 power, I believe. We have instant sorcery land creature.
Yes.
Going to be just shy of killing that Death Shadow. Let's see. Jukea, I think, is going to have problems answering the Death Shadow in general. We have the lightning bolts in there, the chain lightning, the fork bolts, but 2 brazen borrower, and that's about it. That's going to answer it.
Chunking in with the Grim Flare.
Oh,
Leaving
does he have delirium somehow already? No.
yep. Or the uh in your
Yeah.
graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see no delirium. Confirmation from our table spotter here. Thanks, Mr. Jack Dex, for picking up this round, by the way.
Uh gonna abrupt decay something. I'm
Oh,
assuming the
Assassin's Trophy.
Tarmogoyf
Yeah, that
or
makes sense.
Assassin's Trophy. Which do we have any basics?
Ooh, she's picking up her deck. There might be.
There is not.
Just kidding. Had to verify. That's a free shuffle off the. No, we've already shuffled off the brainstorm. I think, right? We
No.
have a missed. Okay, that's yeah. So that might actually clear one extra card off the brainstorm. She would have redrawn the a card, but I think that would be a free shuffle there.
Gonna dump a couple of cards into the bin off of the Grimflayer trigger. Clear a land out of the way, clear a Gravecrawler out of the way.
The grave is a good place for a grave crawler.
Yeah, unfortunately no zombies in play yet in order to bring that back, but um do we have
That
any other
is
zombies?
that's an
Just
important
Lawless
clause,
Troll?
and I was actually just about to go check the deck list myself.
Lawless Troll. There's 4 Lawless Trolls. So there is zombies there. Because Varls is a troll warrior, Grimflayer is a human warrior, and Death Shadow is an avatar, and Phyrexian Dreadnought is artifact creature. I don't know what the
I'm
if
betting
there
it's
is a
Dreadnought now. Yeah, there's a Plague Engineer against Prez would be very taxed to get value. It is an artifact creature, Dreadnoughts.
yep.
Also, he does have 8 trolls in his deck, so that could be a place to start, I guess. All right. Jukea never didn't have the second Tarmogoyf, but we're going to see if. All right, so she swings in with the Delver here. No flying blockers for Prez, but Gonna drop that him down to what's that, 5 life? Death Shadow's an 8/8 now.
And is that an entomb?
That looks like an
Yeah.
Entomb, yep.
Gonna put
So
a Phyrexian Dreadnought into the bin.
nice. So now we'll see if he can resolve the Varels there. If he has one in hand, then that's gonna be a ton of damage coming across. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that Scavenge can only be activated as a sorcery. Although I guess the Group Flyer does have trample, a nice 2/2 trample there.
Definitely a 4/4 now.
And gonna flex on us with that with the Guru Swamp. You didn't have to do it to us, Prez, but you did.
Well, there's the Verils.
All right, we'll see if that resolves. If Jukea reads the card and can counter it, I imagine this will be countered.
Yeah.
Oh, down the line.
That's also part of that thing though, where if you can counter a card that you don't know what it does, it's generally just a good idea to counter it.
Yeah. Okay, so
There's
it
a
would have been,
reason it's in your deck, and it can't be good if I don't know what it is.
yeah, it's the most expensive card he's cast all game, so it's probably pretty good.
5 all. 4. Okay.
Yeah, pulling
Uh,
off that force of will there. This is a little perilous. Although Jukea is swinging in with both. Interesting. I wonder what that means. This is if she has an answer for this Death Shadow here. Um, it could just be as easy as a blocker if there's another Delver or something in hand. Oh, we're gonna see. Oh, the monkeys.
Hooting Mandrills.
Yep. Two Commanders will block for a turn, so that
Gonna
definitely
go to
makes
1. Gonna pick them up. Okay. Decided can't get past the wall of creatures,
yeah,
which is fair.
yeah.
Sometimes you just get that just gets done to you. All right, so let's look at Prez's sideboard here. A couple of slam dunks, in my opinion. But we've got one Assassin's Trophy, two Carpet of Flowers, a Chains of Mephistopheles, two Golgari Charms, two Plague Engineers, three Surgical Extractions, a Thrun the Last Troll, and three Veil of Summers.
Okay, well, I want the chains on the throne just because that's very fun to me. Um, there's I think you can make a case for a lot of these, especially in Prez's deck that's just sort of like mid-range fun stuff. I think you can get a little greedier. Like the Carpet of Flowers isn't a bad idea. If JK is playing a ton of islands and he can be very mana hungry if he wants to be. Um, Assassin Trophy, I don't mind for the extra removal there. Um, what do you think there about the Plague Engineers? You can get stuff out of Delver, but it's not always ideal there.
Plague Engineer doesn't feel great to me against Rug Delver, just because, like, I
Mhm.
mean, it blocks Hooting Mandrills, it blocks Tarmogoyf, it blocks, Hex Drinker sometimes, um, but it doesn't block a Flip Delver. So once you do if you do draw the Plague Engineer late, it kind of just feels like a bad card.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't mind playing Engineer against, like, when I play decks that can't deal with a 4/5 on the board. I love bringing a Plague Engineer just for the Death Touch, but I don't think that's great here. Charlie Brown 2291, thanks for the follow.
yeah, I mean, putting large creatures into play is sort of what Prez's deck does.
Yeah,
Um, so his deck should just be able to populate creatures that can eat Jukea's creatures. So I'm not sure about that. I think an argument can be made for literally every single card in this sideboard, though. Um, Veil. I, Prez really needs to resolve all of his spells in order to win.
mhm,
Um, Thrun, an uncounterable threat. Uh, Maybe not surgical extraction. Surgical extraction is not very good, but plague engineer can be made argument for. Golgari charm could be made an argument for. Chains, Delver does like to draw cards. Um,
Definitely.
so I think that I'll be surprised or I'll be interested to know what he brings in because Prez is a very good Magic player. Um, but we'll we'll see.
Yeah, I'm most excited to see the Threat and the Change just because those are sweet cards we don't get to see that much.
So for Jukea, we have one Blazing Volley, four Pyroblast, three Surgical Extraction, two Abrade, one Ancient Grudge, two Cinder Vines, two Clothis, God of Destiny.
So this will depend on me for me how afraid GK is of the Viral's plan, and because it got countered that game, we didn't really get to see a lot of the payoff, but she did get to see a little of the payoff. Um, any deck that has Entomb, though, I think feel like I'm tempted on the Surgical Extractions. Um, Colossus is nice incidental ways to interact with the graveyard, and also not die or hold on through a board stall. But I'm not sure that I feel like if I'm in her seat, I might bring them in. I feel like knowing what I know about Prez's, rogue deck list here, I'm not as excited about the Colossuses.
Yeah, I'm the little bit of life gain that you can get off Clothis doesn't feel that good.
Mhm.
Um, but I am definitely tempted by the surgicals. But that's I think probably it.
That makes sense. I mean, we she saw a weird mix of weird creatures out of Prez's list here, and I feel like if I'm playing a strategy where I can stall the board, like if I can assemble more Mandrills and Tarmogoyfs than he can random dummies, then I love Colossus as a way to just like close out the game eventually. But I think that's just me being greedy with sideboarding. In the unknown, Colossus just gets me out of a lot of situations randomly.
Clothis did come in, so
All right.
uh that's I think number 3, right? We were talking about the third one would come up eventually. What do you take here if you're Prez? I
It's there's I can make an argument for the brainstorm or the Colossus or the Delver. Really, the Chain Lightning I don't care about. Um,
yeah, I agree. I think personally I take the brainstorm here, but it also I feel like Prez has plenty of room or plenty of ways to deal with uh the Brazen Borrower, but maybe doesn't have any. And so we're gonna see the Brazen Borrower go into the bin. And
Brazen
UKOL
Borrower's
is
best
just
friend
going
Delver
to
secrets. I think it's in an Asian language, but it's Delver over there in the graveyard.
oh my god, did I say Brazen Borrower?
Yeah, yeah. We knew you meant petty or Brazen Borrower space slash space petty theft though.
It's apparently been a long day. And apparently I'm very tired. Because that is awesome. So we are
It's
gonna
okay.
see a
Final round.
brainstorm. Yeah, hashtag exclamation chicky nuggies, which I haven't had in I don't know how long. Gonna see a Veil of Summer in response to the brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, cash it in if you can here. You saw that there wasn't any counter magic in Jakea's hand to cash it in on.
And the Veil's not gonna be good against a chain lightning, so
Spotter here says that Price just won a card draw. That makes sense. I mean, there wasn't anything else in the hand to that'll activate it.
yeah. At the very least it cycles. Best magic mechanic.
Except this cycling can be countered, so
Yeah.
uh,
The other cycling can be pithing needled though.
that would be an aggressive use of Pithing Needle, I think. All right, there's Hex Drinker. So that was a pretty good find off the brainstorm there. Um, if you had seen Hex Drinker and Delver in the opening hand, are you taking the Hex Drinker or the Delver? Do you think?
Hex drinker.
Yeah, that card is so scary.
And Lotless Roll?
I
Yeah,
was gonna guess
Lotless
Lotless
Roll.
Joe. Okay, that was my guess, but I was honestly just gonna wait for our table spotter, Mr. Jack Tex, to tell me. Princess is scavenge at least one before the match is over. Yeah, when players play cool stuff, I want to get to see the cool stuff on camera. Swing, no pump. Um,
Gonna trade.
see if GK accepts that trade here.
Um, Prez may also have a creature in hand though, and just discard it for Lawless Troll. Oh, gonna regenerate it. Gonna chain lightning it. Gonna put it in the bin.
Oh, that's one of the secret layer lightning bolts. I think that's the first time I've gotten to see one of those cast. I love that the frame treatment they gave to it, where they have the like darkened text box with the text on it, but you can still see the art behind it. That's a neat effect. And just a ponder and a quick shuffle.
Just snap that right off. Gonna take out the Urborg, I imagine.
Now the wasteland, right? Oh, the airborne. You're right. His deck has seemed kind of colored mana intensive so far. There's a lot of cards that cost black and green.
Yeah.
Um, I guess it would be awfully greedy of Prez here to waste me if I'm Jukeo, given that he has nothing on the board and I have a Hex Drinker.
I think if you're GK, you just level.
Yeah, he didn't have an answer to Hex Drinker last turn. He probably doesn't have one this turn. Yeah, so Brainstorm first with that fetch that she just played also makes sense. Um, see a waste in response. Do you think this is on? I guess we'll get to see from our table spotter here.
Geez, I guess I did it
Drop on
again.
the
I
waste.
said chain lightning instead of bolt.
How dare you confuse two 1 red mana spells that deals 3 damage to any target? Both from 1993-94.
Oh, one's a sorcery and one's a instant, so that makes a difference here. My bad, folks.
Yeah, technically cast Chain Lightning in combat, I guess. So get a replacement drop. I mean, this is an interesting situation for Prez here. GK is not applying a ton of pressure, but Prez has a 1 land as his only possession in this whole world right now. Falling to 13 there, almost a magic number for that shadow to come online.
Looks like we might be getting another Mandrills.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like this 4/4 body is just going to be tough to answer for Prez right now. It's funny how in Legacy we have all these ways of like winning the game on turn 1 or whatever, and then sometimes someone plays a 4/4 and you go, well, that's a 4/4. But did assemble a 2/2 here with Death Shadow.
Gonna bolt it. Lightning bolt.
So this could have a Street Wraith in response. Oh, he has a Vines of Vestu in response. Okay. That'll also protect it there. I get a swing in for 4 and hope he doesn't have Street Wraith. Alright, cool. Get our first level up.
I do think I understand the inclusion of or bringing in Clothis when you have the Hex Drinker, because being able to add mana to just level that up a little bit faster makes sense.
Yeah, the mana mode is super convenient depending on the deck. Red Dover doesn't have a ton of stuff to sink the mana into other than Hex Drinker, like you pointed out. But
Bolt the
unfortunately, Cloth is
Clothis.
gone forever.
It is nice to see that bolt go away though, if you're Prez.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Death Shadow matchup is always a balancing act against any bolt deck.
Delver
Okay,
of Secrets for Jukea. Gonna pass it back because now that Death Shadow's a 6/6.
yeah, finding threat after threat here.
And a Lotless Troll for Prez.
All right, never didn't have the second one there. I think that I mean Jukea is going so wide here, and especially if the Delver flips, I don't. It's going to be pretty bad for Prez. Um, Prez has one card in hand, so won't be able to grow the Lotless Troll a ton. All the creatures. Where is the Berserk? Gotta go double check myself. Both decks do have green, and I don't think either's running Berserk. I think I'm getting trolled, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to tell on the internet. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, no Berserk. Had to verify.
That would be far too funny.
Um, I mean, one day I'm just gonna get got. Someone's gonna Berserk as a removal spell on me outside of Infect, and I guess I'll just like. All right, yeah.
So I was playing against Infect last month. Somebody attacked with a uh, Noble Hierarch, and I was at 22 life, and they killed me. Just
Get them, I guess.
a lot of free things to do. Now I just block the the Noble Hierarch. You got the removal spell. Let's go.
I gets that up to level 2. I'm going to go very casually type exclamation point card hex drinker into chat very loudly.
Um,
Just making sure it levels up at 3.
yeah, 3 to 7 is the pro instance.
Like, the card would have been a nicer, just like more symmetric if it became a 4/4 at level 4. Oh well.
It does look like Jukea is going
Oh,
to take this 2-0
golly.
off of Prez.
Goodness. Yeah, with the force and blue card in hand there at the end.
I am curious what Prez. Boy, yeah, it looks like it was the Veils, which we had seen in
There's your carpet
the
of flowers as well.
carpets and the chains. I won't put it past Prez to throw a chains in a deck when he can afford to.
Yeah.
Um, but that's gonna do it for us for tonight, folks. Thanks so much for joining us, and we have been the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. This is our weekly Tuesday stream. I do it every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us on Saturdays for our Saturday tournaments. And if you choose to do that, you just got to go over to sign up on the Discord and follow the links that we will scatter across the sky. I am McDiff, and thank you so much, Chaotic Bear, for commentating with me tonight. It's a pleasure as always.
Anytime, man.
And let us be your local meta. Have a good night, everybody.
See y'all later.